Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. This is my weekly Monday night live stream at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you're watching this on the replay, come back next Monday and catch us live. It'll be lots of fun. Hello Sika, hello Sylvia and Brandy and Bunny and Barbara and so many familiar names. I love it. I wish I knew all of you in person. It would be so fun. Tonight, I'm going to be playing with the brand new release from Pinkfresh. They emailed me a while back and said, hey, do you want to play with our new stuff? And I said, well, what does it look like? And and then these are the things that I picked from their new release. They have a really great release. It was hard to narrow down what I wanted to use with, but I was most intrigued by this stencil set, which is called Overlapping Geometrics. You can kind of see on the back their example. And I just realized that my nail polish that's listed down below is incorrect. If any of you are wondering, this is actually strawberry macaron with one layer of breathe free on top from Dazzle Dry. Anyway, that's the difference. This is strawberry macaron with breathe free. It is not Palm Springs and stamping, obviously. So I thought this stencil set was really, really intriguing. And so I thought for sure I want to play with that. And then I'm not sure if it's really going to fit with the style of this other kind of like bundle of products, but these were so cute. I wanted to use them anyway. So I might end up making 2 cards tonight. I'm hoping I can combine the 2. We'll see. But basically the first product is the Never Give Up stamp set. And I thought it had such great greetings included and some nice open flowers that you could do with ink blending with a stencil or watercolor or markers or however you'd like to color them in or keep it blank. You know, there's lots of things you can do. And then that same floral design in a press plate that you can use with your Better Press from Spellbinders, which I thought was really great. Another option for something different that you could do. And that same design, you know, for the press plate and the stamp, you can die cut it. So we've got dies for that, as well as it looks like just 2 of the greetings, the bigger ones it looks like. And then you have a stencil set that has 4 stencils in it, and you can color in the flower, the whole flower design. So I thought I would kind of do the stamp set with the stencils, maybe cut them out and then put it on top of the other stencil thing. So let's start with the flowers. I thought that would be a good place to start. So I'm going to start by stamping my flowers. And all of these products are listed down below. I updated the info in the description probably like 5 minutes before going live. So if by chance you don't see that, you may have popped in here a little early. And you'll just have to hit refresh if you want those links. But I just got some 5x7 cardstock here. I'm going to be die cutting this out eventually, so it really doesn't matter the size. But I thought maybe I'd stamp it twice so that I could possibly use it twice on my card. Ooh, Molly, you and Sylvia received your Better Press systems today. Love it. Love it. Okay, so I thought maybe I'd do one up here, and I don't know if it'll fit over here, but I'm kind of hoping it will. So we'll stamp this large stamp twice. I'm going to grab a black waterproof ink. Let's see. I think I'll just use my old standby, my VersaFine Onyx Black. It tends to dry really quickly and it won't smear with inks over top. It's a good all-around ink. I really love it. All right. We'll stamp this once. Hopefully we'll get a really good impression. I'm going to use my press tool to really press that down. Beautiful. And I wonder, could I just rotate it? I don't know. Maybe. Will it fit? Nope. It'll overlap. All right. Well, I was hoping I could, but looks like I can't. So I'm going to clean this off and we'll move it. Andrea says, this certainly sounds like a less labor-intensive card design than last week's Lego inspired. Yes. This one is a whole lot less. Hopefully, right? Because my wireless microphone that I wear, I was charging it right before going live, and I was like, ooh, I might have to postpone starting just to let it charge more. So my mic might go out in the middle of this. Hopefully it doesn't. All right. Oh, I don't think it's going to fit. I don't think I'll be able to get it to fit. You know what? That's okay. Because it probably wouldn't fit on a card anyway. We'll just make sure that part is hanging off the end of the card. It's all good. Okay. And then we'll stamp this. Sandy's asking, is VersaFine good with Copics? I'm interpreting that to be Copics. No. You want an alcohol-friendly ink for that. So I like Intense Black ink from Simon Says Stamp or Honeybee or Lawn Fawn. Most of the companies, if they have an ink that is called Intense Black, you'll want to double check, but most of them are alcohol marker friendly. Okay, that's just pretty, just like that. Maybe I'll do my ink blending and then we're going to call that the card. I would not be sad about that. It's very pretty. I like how they nestle in with each other. Yes, I did enjoy the Lego art. I need to mail it. I haven't mailed it. I also need to mail Brandy's envelope from last month's member mail art, and I need to mail the postage stamp winners. You guys, I need to get myself to the post office. All right. So now we're going to do some ink blending on these lovely little flowers. So let me just grab, I'm going to use my waffle flower big huge sticky grip thing, whatever it's called. In fact, I have a card that I made last week on a live stream with my members that I used the same thing, and it was so convenient. I'm like, it's so nice to use this with stencils. So that's what I'm going to use today. I'm going to put my paper down. Actually, before we do that, I'm just going to hit it with my heat tool because I want to make sure that the ink is completely dry. Because if it's dry, it's waterproof. But if it's not dry, it's not waterproof. Okay, that's probably good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to come to the stencils. These are the Never Give Up stencils. And here's what it looks like. In fact, I'm going to refer to the back of the packaging to kind of decide what colors I want to use. There's 4 stencils. Okay. And I'm thinking I'm going to be using Concord and 9th inks just because I have them in a tray and it's really easy to use them, you know, with my the little mini ink cubes. So I'm sort of thinking, let's see, what would be really pretty? I guess I could also pick something from the color cube. Let's do that. I haven't picked a color cube color inspiration in a while. That would be really fun. So let's go to box number 1 and we'll pick one. That'll help us get some colors. Now I do probably want some green. So maybe something that's more on the floral side. You know, it would be easier if I used my phone for this. Okay, hold on. I'm going to bring up the PDF. So there is not an app for the Sarah Renee Clark color guides, but there, you can bring up the PDFs on your device or an iPad or something and kind of use it like an app. So I'm going to be using the volume 1. So I'm going to open up, here it is, the volume 1. Here's where it was last. And it opens up as a PDF, right? And then I'm just going to scroll. I'm going to say browse by keywords because I kind of want like floral or something like that. So there is a keyword for flowers. So I'll hit flowers and it's going to jump to like a really quick representation of all the color cards in the color cube that have flowers. So I'm just going to kind of glance through and kind of see what catches my eye, what would be really, really pretty. Like something that, I'm intrigued by these colors right here. So 245, I'll tap that and it jumps to 245 and then I can see that color combo. I'm going to grab card 245. Let me find this over here, right near the end. Oh, there we go. Just found it. 245. Isn't that a pretty combo? I thought kind of like with this dark color and then these lighter, and it looks like there's a black in there, which could be really interesting and dramatic on this particular flower design. So here we go. Let's pick out some colors that are similar to that from the Concord and Ninth color family. Here we are. So I'm thinking off the bat, rainforest for that dark color right there. Rainforest on here, it looks a little more green. That one's more blue, but I think that's totally okay. It's close enough. So actually, I'm just gonna, oh no, my grippy mat is sticking to my, right. Okay, there we go. I'll move these off screen here just so I can see them a little better. Okay. All right, so we have that one. And then I think juniper. Yeah, okay, we're going for the right vibes. Juniper and tide pool, those are pretty together. That pink to me kind of looks like honeysuckle. Ta-da. And then, I don't know if I want to go full black or maybe I should just do mushroom because we do have the black stamped lines. So how about those? We'll do those 5 colors, and mushroom's going to be very used very sparingly. This bugs me that it's not completely straight on my grid mat. There we go. That's better. We'll just straighten that out. Okay. Put these in their little spots, and then we will get to the ink blending. It is a really nice color combo, isn't it? We've got a couple kind of green shades, so that's going to be good for all the leaves. Okay, so let's see here. Get this kind of right on the leaves. All right, and that's going to hold that in place. And then move these stencils off to the side so I actually have a little space here. Just open these up. I'm not going to open the honeysuckle yet since we're not quite there yet. Actually, you know what? I want to move this over just a little. There, I think that's more spot on. All right, and I'll zoom in so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more. And I'm going to grab my kind of tealish blending brush. And I think I'm going to start with the lightest color. So I'm using Tide Pool. And I'm just going to start ink blending on because I can always intensify the colors later. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to start with the lightest shade first. And I think I do want to really add that rainforest color, that deep teal. I want to add that in here. So I'm going to take Tide Pool over the entire area. And then I want like a smaller brush. I'm trying to think here. Okay, I know I have my little waffle flower brushes here somewhere. Y'all, my craft room. It is a disaster. All right, I'm gonna come grab some small little itty bitty brushes so I can get in there and do all the detail work. So, got some waffle flower brushes that are gonna be great for this. And I'll just go ahead and get out 5, one for each color. I don't know if I'll need these little ones for all of them, but it'll be good to have them out just in case. Okay, so I think I'm going to start with Rainforest, and that's probably going to be pretty intense. Yeah, look how intense that is. But I'm going to bring that in just like right at the base of the flowers. Ooh, I really like how this is looking. Just having a little bit of a different color is going to do wonders for this ink blend. Okay, that's really pretty. I like that. All right, lift this up. Ooh, that's so dramatic and I love it. Okay, so I'll rotate it and we'll do these leaves over here. Actually, since I did use the darker color first, I need to clean this stencil off real quick. So I'm going to use a little spray bottle that has alcohol in it, like rubbing alcohol, because it'll dry really quickly. And then a microfiber cloth just to wipe it down really quick. There's lots of little pointy areas on the stencil, so I'm trying to be careful not to, you know, let it catch on the towel. Okay. Make sure everything's dry. Okay, so Pam is asking about the color cubes and the color catalog. So the PDF, you can go to the Sarah Renee Clark website, and like I did a bunch of color cube videos back in, well, I guess it was March, and there's links to the specific color cubes, but you can go there. The PDF is basically every single one of those color combos, except it's searchable. You can search by keyword, by color, by collection, you know, like there's more options. I like to kind of use both. I like, you know, exactly how I showed it today, where you have, you know, you can use it for the searching, but then you have the actual color cube cards to like have out on your desk while you're working. You could also just, you know, have your phone open to the PDF. You know, you could do it that way too. But I kind of like having the color card right there too. So there's options. All right, so I'm bringing out all this Tide Pool. And then I'm going to come in with Rainforest. I'm going to add that right down there. add the darker shade down here. I'm just using my fingertips to hold down that stencil because it wants to sort of pop up a little bit while I'm blending. So just adding that darkness right through the stem area. Love it. So pretty. I love how that turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and clean my stencil just, you know, so I can put my stencil away at the end here and not have to worry about it. Have to clean it later. Okay. All right, moving on to the next stencil. Let's see here. Stencil 2. So we've got the big flowers. I only have one pink shade, so, or one pink ink. So I'm thinking maybe I'll have the flowers be like teals, or maybe even the mushroom color, and then have the smaller flowers be pink. Wouldn't that be cute? Yeah, let's do that. Let's have it be mushroom. I'm trying to think here. How do I want to do this? Maybe juniper and mushroom. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll try it out. Why not? We'll see. This first layer is very, very faint. So I think maybe I will have that be the mushroom color. I've got like a big, huge blending brush here. We'll see how that works. Basically just like a nice gray. This should be interesting. We'll see. All right. Lift this up and move over to the other flower set. Adding more mushroom. I didn't even think it was that dark when I did it. I thought they were really pale. Okay. I'm going to clean these off really quick. Mushroom with pink layers. I don't know. I'm thinking I kind of want the little flowers to be pink. I think that could be really pretty. Okay. So it looks like it's going to be the little flowers and some details on the big flowers. Okay, so I'm going to go to the honeysuckle. I'll get a little tiny little brush ready. Ooh, that honeysuckle pad is very juicy. Ink blending those. Thinking maybe I'll just bring a little more of that pink right on the edges to give it just a little more interest, since I'm only using one color. I mean, of course I could always add more color, but you know, add another ink pad or something. Okay, just because I don't want to get the pink on those other flowers, I'm gonna ink blend the second set and then come back and clean my stencil to do the other portion. Okay. Was someone asking where the stencils on the stamp is from? They are from Pinkfresh. Andrea is correct. Okay, I'll lift this up. I'm going to spray the stencil with alcohol to clean everything off, just so I don't accidentally get that pink where it's not supposed to be. And then I'll come back in and get this lined up again. And I'm going to start doing, I'm trying to think, do I want to do that juniper color? Maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe yes, I'll do the juniper, but I'm going to have it be darker near the center of the flower. I'm just cleaning off my brush because there we go. We'll just do I think it could be really interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see how that looks. Oh, fascinating. Different. We'll see. I've never done it quite like this before. We'll just see how it works. I might end up hating it. Okay. Lift that up. They're kind of moody flowers, right? Okay. One more stencil. And I have no clue where these line up. Oh, right there. That's where it's got to be, right there. Oh, the centers of the little flowers. That's a good cue for like where to line them up. Okay. So the centers of the little flowers, let's do those in mushroom. Oh, they're not really centered. They're close enough. Okay, and then I'm thinking rainforest for these dark bits in the very centers of the flowers. I think that could be really interesting. And I might absolutely hate this. Let's see, is Christina gonna hate it? I don't know, it's very different. I feel like the gray needs some additional shading. So I think I'm gonna go back and add some more shading on the gray when we did like the main outline area. I think I'll feel better about it once I've adjusted that. Okay, since I've got my rainforest brush out, I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. It's a very different look, very unique. And I don't mind doing very unique looks because it, you know, sometimes you just want to do something so different than what anyone would expect. Okay, yeah, it's so different. All right, I'm gonna clean this stencil and then I'm gonna go back to that one layer for the gray. I'm not loving it right at this moment, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna love it in a minute here. Okay, so we're back to this one. Now that I can see how the interior was ink blended, I can kind of gauge more exactly what I want, how I want it to look, you know? Okay, so I've got a little bit of mushroom. I'm just gonna, let's see, how do I want to do this? I feel like I just want like a little more like ink blending right from the center. I don't really know if that'll really do much, but. And I kind of want like that masked off. Oh well. It's not my favorite, but it's okay. Pink on edges, that's not a bad idea. Just like a little hint of pink. I love that idea. Let's try it. That might be what I'm missing. I just want like just a little something. Ooh, I like that idea. That might be what it needed. It just needs like a little glow, you know? I think it's going to be a good move. Just like a little bit of pink. I already love that more. Good call, Shelly. Shelly in the live chat said pink on edges. That was a very good suggestion. I don't know that I would have thought to do that. Good call. Oh yeah, that just really brings it all together. I kind of wish there was a little bit more white. Like I wish I would have kept it lighter, but I like this. Not having kept it lighter, I like this. In fact, if I were to do it again, I might have just skipped the mushroom on the flower completely. For this layer, only done a little bit of pink and then done the interiors with the same colors that, you know, I already did. If I was going to redo this again. They're very moody. I like it. Okay, I can also add a little white in maybe with a gel pen to add a little more brightness to the centers. I think that could work well too. All right, I'm gonna clean off my little stencil here. And then we're gonna try, let's see, I'm trying to decide, do I want to turn this into one card itself, or do I want to try die cutting it and then putting it on top? Let's see here. All right, it's so different. Ooh, colored pencil with white. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll try that. A little bit of white colored pencil. If I can find my white colored pencil. It's like my most used, and it's getting shorter and shorter. All right. Just gonna sharpen it. Yeah, Pam, like a Victorian wallpaper, like a very different color scheme. I like that. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, and I got like a little pink underneath there. That's okay. I'm like, I don't know exactly where I want the white to be, but I want it to be just a little lighter right through here. That's not really doing much, is it? It could also be because I'm trying to do this on top of a very squishy surface. All right, let's set that aside for a minute and do the other stencil set. So the other stencil set looks like this. And this is the Overlapping Geometrics stencil set. And there's actually 6 stencils. So I could introduce another color, maybe a lighter pink. Let's introduce Ballet Slipper just as a lighter pink. Might as well. And grab a piece of paper, put that down. And then I don't think there's any particular order that you have to put these in. You just line up the outer edge with the stencil and you just go to town. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna do my ballet slipper with a pink, my pink blending brush. And I think it's probably going to be most interesting if I have like more intense shading on the edges. So that's my plan. I'm really building up this ballet slipper ink. Okay, lift up the stencil. And I'm going to just clean it off real quick. Okay, going on to the next one. I have to line up those corners again. All right, and since we've got pinks out, let's just go ahead and do pink. We'll do honeysuckle. And once again, I'm kind of doing a, you know, outer edges, get a little more ink. Okay. Yeah, these stencils are sticking very well. Ooh, that already looks really cool. All right, going on to the next one. Just this top corner. So maybe we'll do rainforest, like the darkest color. Ooh, and these greens over this red. I don't know how this is gonna work. Okay. Getting a nice green. Ooh, it's kind of turning purple. Makes sense. It's kind of a bluish green. Blend in on this side. I think I'm gonna avoid going over the center too much. Looks really dramatic. Okay. Oh my word. I'm gonna need scissors to pull this up from my grippy mat. It is so stuck. Okay, there we go. Ooh, that's so cool looking. I really want to do this with like shades of red, yellow, and blue so you can get like a really rainbow overlap on stuff. I think that could be really, really cool. All right, next stencil. All right, we will do juniper. So back to green. This is just going to be a slightly different shade. In fact, I'm just going to choose to skip that corner again. Can you guys hear the rain? I don't know if my mic is picking it up or not, but it just started raining. Was that definitely to the rain? Oh, it would be fun for the rainbow colors. Got it. Okay. That is looking so cool. And I kind of think the flowers would look okay over it because the flowers with their color scheme are kind of like giving off a very modern vibe. Like they could go with it. Yeah. Okay, I like this. right, do I want to add even more? Because I mean, there's one more. Or two more actually, two more stencils. And we basically just got more shades of green and then mushroom. I don't think I want to add any mushroom to these, so maybe I'll just do one more stencil and then call it good. All right, so this is Tide Pool. I'm going to switch to more my brush that I do kind of lighter teals with. I think that's all I want to blend right there. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay. Molly, you're all planning a meetup? Okay. Let me know when it is. That's too funny. All right. I will need to kind of trim a little bit off the edges. Can you see like I missed the edge just a tiny bit. So I think I'm just gonna have to clean those up just a little bit. Let me put my brushes away really quick. Got a lot of them just sitting out here. From all of the ink blending. Okay. And then, oh, I need to clean that. Where'd my baby wipes go? Where are my baby wipes when I need them? They were just here. Y'all, I swear there's like craft room gnomes that come and move things. There they are. Not fairies. I'm pretty sure it's gnomes. Gnomes are mischievous little beard guys. It's the gnomes. Okay. This needs to dry a little bit before I put it away, so I'm gonna just set it aside. I'm gonna put the bottom on its plastic sheet, but let the top dry. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little trimming. I'm just going to take like 1/8 of an inch off each edge. I think that's going to be perfect. So it will end up being 4 inches wide by 5 1/4. And then it will perfectly mat onto an A2 card. Looks really cool. All right, so let's cut out the flowers. Y'all, I was like doubting if I could use these flowers with this stencil, but doubt no more. I think this is gonna work. Okay. I love that Pinkfresh includes little magnet sheets on the inside. Love it. So it holds all your dies. Okay. So we'll just die cut this twice. I don't think I'm going to add the pencil to the flowers. I think I'm going to do white gel pen after the card is assembled. Having a little bit of white on the outside of the flowers, I think will also, you know, give me a little bit of that brightness that I wanted. Okay. Run this through my die cutting machine. Ooh, I love that it cut out the interior areas too. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Okay, am I gonna want like, do I only want like one little flower spray or do I want both? Oh, let's cut the other one. Because whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna have to cut the other one too, so I might as well. All right. So I was thinking if I was going to have that going off the edge anyway, I could then save this one for a second card. I'm a thinker. Okay. Also need to consider what I'm going to do for a grading here. There are gradings in the stamp set. I just have to decide if I want to stamp it on the background or, I mean, I could just do a thanks right there. I kind of like having it kind of cover up about that much. You know what? I'm kind of feeling like a silver embossing vibe. Like silver embossing could be good. Before we get to that, let's... I do a little stamping. Need some cardstock. I'm thinking, let's see here. You know what? I actually have some vellum, really thick vellum. I don't even know where it's from, but it's like super thick. And it has been wandering around my craft room for quite some time. Maybe I'll just use it today. All right, and then let's do, I think I'm going to do Never Give Up on the Things That Make You Smile. I think it's a really good sentiment, and I will be cutting it out with my dies. I'm going to grab some embossing ink. I've just got some Hero Arts embossing ink out. Might as well use it. Stamp that down. And like I said, I'm kind of feeling the silver vibes from this. So I've got Brutus Monroe Sterling. Probably should have used an anti-static powder tool. I might be regretting it here in a moment. Yeah, I've got a weird spot right there. Go away, powder. And I think my half of my greeting got a little smooshed. Let's just redo that. And then I'm going to make sure that I do my anti-static powder tool. All right, new piece of vellum, not a big deal. Put that in right there. Anti-static powder tool. Use my embossing ink, and I'm going to just let it just barely kiss the vellum. I'm like looking in the, oh, I don't know if that got everything. All right, is that better? Maybe. Not really. What in the world? I'm putting the whole piece of vellum in. Anti-static powder. Make sure I have a nice impression. Oh my word. I don't know what I'm doing. But this one's going to be it. You see how it's like kind of blobby on the one side? I'm like, what am I doing wrong? The stamp itself looks fine. Let's try that one more time. We'll just put it in down this. Oh, it's going to overlap. Hold on. Seriously, can I make it more complicated? This is really thick vellum, y'all. Okay. All right, let's try this one more time. And if it doesn't work this time, I'm just going to be done with it and just call it good. I'm being so gentle. Okay, I think that might be better. Okay. It's not any better. What am I doing? Maybe it is the stamp. Wow. You know what? I do want to give it one more try, and I'm going to move the direction. All right, yeah. Let's give this one more try. Is it just where it's positioned in my MISTI, or is it the stamp itself? Sometimes you just get a dud, you know, you don't know. Okay, when I stamp it here, it looks lovely. It's when I'm applying the embossing powder. Okay. Try this, let it sit for a minute. Sometimes it needs to like really kind of grab on. Okay, that worked. I think it was just like where I had it in my MISTI maybe. Oh my word, 5th time's a charm. 5th time's a charm, y'all. Sometimes it just takes that long to get it where you want it. And I better put the lid on this embossing powder before I completely destroy my craft room desk here. It could be because the vellum was picking up a little bit. That is true. Just because I don't want this powder to move around, I'm going to go ahead and heat set those as well. Yeah, I'm glad I redid it. Do you see how blobby that is on that last line? And how blobby it is over here too? And then here's my 5th try. It looks a lot better. Okay. So we will die cut that out. If I can get all the little papers out of my magnetic mat there. Alrighty, and then back to the dies, wherever they walked off to. Where'd you go, dies? Hello? They were just here. Oh, they were underneath. Okay. Okay. It's a good sentiment. Never give up on the things that make you smile. Okay. Oh, that's a perfect little grading. Put that down right there or something. And then I'm thinking maybe like silver enamel dots to kind of like bring it all together. I think that would look really pretty. Okay, hold on. I'm just putting some of these things away so that I can move around, and we're going to assemble the card. Just getting a pre-folded card base. Here's that color palette inspiration. So different, but it really does work. Use my Tombow Extreme adhesive just to adhere my background. Lovely. Then I'm going to grab my foam tape and I'm going to put some foam adhesive on the back of the flowers. Just going to cut it more narrow. It'll be a whole lot easier. Any of you in the live chat, let me know if you've been on a Europe river cruise. I mean, we did our biking river cruise, but that was a little different because you were biking everywhere. I'm like obsessed with looking at different river cruises. Viking sounds lovely, but it is so dang expensive. So we're looking at Emerald. If any of you have any experience with Emerald river cruises, let me know. All right, just a few more little spots. Oh, Michelle just got her color cubes. Yay. All right. I think that's plenty. Emma Waterways, they're the best. Okay, that was one of the brands I looked at. One of these river cruises, they can be so pricey, so it's kind of like, oh, I really got to like plan out in the, you know, far in advance. Okay. Just working with what I've already pre-cut on these edges. I think it worked well. And I like that it's sort of extending past the border. I think that's kind of cool. All right, so I'm thinking I'll just adhere this. Where do I want it? I was thinking just right across the bottom here. It's kind of hard to see though. So maybe not. I could also turn it this way. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Oh no, the flowers really look like they should be upright like that. I'm rethinking my grading now. Could have it go right there. I'm kind of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This doesn't really show up. I think it just needs to be black. The black stamped grading on white. Or I don't have a grading at all. That is also a possibility. Sometimes you don't want a grading because you can add one later when it's for a specific occasion, you know? All right, let's try this again. We will do back the vellum with cardstock. Well, it's already die cut. That's the problem. So I might as well, I mean, I guess I could still do it embossed in silver. Maybe I will still do it embossed in silver because I like that idea. Okay. Back to the silver. My powder looks like it's about to fall out of the container, so let's fix that. Yeah, no issues there. It must be because the vellum was picking up with the stamp. We'll set this aside for now. Take the stamp out later. Oh yeah, that's going to be so much more legible. Okay. Just grabbing the die. Oh my word, the die's missing. Where did you go? Okay, it's right there. I'm like, seriously, y'all. Okay. Okay. Okay, it is kind of a big greeting to take up that whole area. There is something nice, like, I think, who was it? Kathleen said there's something nice about just putting the thanks on the card. I have to agree. The thanks would look nice. Just stamped, nestled in right there. I think that's going to be the winner, y'all. I love the other greetings, but because I didn't plan my card out in advance, it's not really working. So we're gonna try to stamp directly onto the card design and hope we can get it done once. Just right there. Make sure it's nice and straight. I'm committed to the card being this direction because I like the flowers that direction. All right, here we are, versifying. Beautiful. It feels like that's what the card wanted to be all along. Ta-da! Okay, now I've just got to add the little white spots that I was going to add on the flowers to brighten them up a little bit. Just because they look a little dark to me. So I'm just going to add a few little white dots or something. Let's see here. How exactly do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to do just add little white dots. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted. Just a few little white dots. I think that works. Unusual color combo for these, I must say. But that is the card for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little spiel for those watching the edited replay, and then I'll stick around and chat for just a few. So here is the finished card for tonight. Went in unexpected directions. Love how it turned out. Very unusual color combo on the flowers, but I think it really works. I hope you guys enjoyed. All of the supplies I used today, including the stamps, dies, and both stencil sets, are listed down below. I also included the press plate of the flower design if you want to pick that one up as well from Pinkfresh. And big thank you to Pinkfresh for sending these products to me to play with. They were a lot of fun. I'm excited about this. This is really fun. I really want to do a rainbow background too. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Okay. Yes, Sika, very dramatic and moody. That is the good word for this. It's a very moody thank you. Put it that way. All right. If you guys have any questions, this is the time to pop them in the chat. Otherwise, I might close up here because it looks like my mic's about to die. Molly says she doesn't want to go on a cruise because she's always running late. You know what though? Because you know that about yourself, you just have to be like, okay, we have to be back to the ship by 3, so we're going to plan to be there by 1, and then you'll be fine. It'll be great. Grand Circle Travel Great Rivers of Europe. Okay, all right. I'll have to look into that one. Friday night, 6 p.m. at the Crate Setup Station. Okay. All right, good to know. All right, you guys, I'm going to close up before my microphone dies. It's getting close there. It's giving me a little red warning sign that turns red. So thank you much for joining me tonight, and I will see you very soon with another card video. Thanks for watching.